we're talking about Marvel X-Men. I know we just did, and then on top of it, Doomsday hasn't even started, or we haven't seen it yet, and we have Secret Wars. But Marvel, I told everybody, Marvel's gonna start getting a lot, or we're gonna get a lot of news from Marvel's X-Men soon, and a lot, because right now Secret Wars is being filmed. If it's not right now, it's like in a couple of days, and they have to get working on the next project, and the next project is X-Men, and we all know that. So first things have been getting leaked here and there. This is the only one that's been kind of confirmed a little bit. It's not fully confirmed. I don't want to go that far. Marvel has not put it out there yet. Disney or whoever has not put it out yet saying it, but every media outlet is saying it's going to be done. And this is a pretty cool image that Complex Pop put up. I love to give credit to the artist. They didn't either, but I don't know if it's Boss Logic or something like that. It's pretty cool though. But I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on this. My first thought was like, haven't we already seen Adam Driver be like Magneto already? I mean, the whole like angry, emotional, he's damaged, he has a haunted family past, he's convinced he's doing what needs to be done, he's doing the right thing, he believes, he's becoming more of a villain over time. If I said all those things describing Magneto, you wouldn't blink an eye. You'd be like, yeah, Magneto. So I don't know, I just worry that Adam Driver, like, he's nothing against Adam Driver too. I think Adam Driver's a good actor. I think he's a really great actor. He's done more roles than being Kylo Ren in some Star Wars films. So remember that. He's done a lot more roles, and he's a good actor. But I don't think he's a bad actor or anything like that. But I think the problem here is like the opposite of what I'm thinking. Some saying, you know, Adam Driver is a bad actor that don't want to see him play. I do want to see him do good, but I just don't know. With this, it almost feels like it's stereotyped in a way. I don't know if that's a proper word for it. When people get stuck in this bubble of how they get casted all the time, and when there were rumors of Kylo Ren being Doctor Doom for a while, this was a long time ago. This is when Fantastic Four was getting ready to find their Reed, and I heard Driver's name came up for Reed. I think it came up for Doom, and I had to sit on that for a little bit, and I just wasn't sure, because I thought the same thing. I go, wears a mask, he's gonna have a different voice. I think Doom is more on the nose, closer to Ren, but he doesn't throw little fits like Ren does. We'll at least not see that. But Magneto, again, having that idea behind him, the whole history behind Magneto, there's a lot of factors that I'm just a little worried about. And I've said a million times before, I'm worried about where we're going. Doomsday and up, I'm worried. I don't know how they're going to fix this. Or not fix this, because it's not broken really yet, but it kind of is broken. We're kind of fixing it. I mean, if I pointed all the things out that, you know, I'm worried about Kylo Ren being like Magneto, you'd probably agree, I would think, that he's defined by like his trauma he's had, and that's similar to Magneto and Kylo Ren. They both went through things that changed them and shifted them. They believe, you know, almost like the world's out to get them, and they want to get the world before it gets them and take over, you know. And then at the same time, we kind of like cared about them as well. We sympathized a little bit with them. I can't even go. I was about to say, yeah, Magneto more, but I think Kylo Ren was probably one of the best fleshed out characters in the prequels for Star Wars out of all the other characters. I think Kylo Ren was probably the most well done. I don't know. There's, yeah, a lot of the ones I got a lot of things I could probably say about them, but Kylo Ren, I can't say too much. Maybe some of his ideas written well. But far as like acting goes, not looking dumb, not having dumb lines really. He didn't get a Hayden Christensen treatment. He didn't get dumb lines to say as a guy turning evil or a villain redemption story. We didn't really get that from Adam Driver, and he did what he had to do, and he did his job. But he ultimately was a villain who didn't believe he was a villain, and I feel like that's exactly Magneto. So he can play on that. He could work off that, and he could do a good job, you know, being Magneto with that. I watched him be that, and it's not, obviously they're not the same character. They're not the same character. I'm not stupid enough to be like, okay, when he portrays him, he's gonna be exactly Ren. I am just worried that we're not looking more outside of the box. And who knows? Like, I'm not saying Ren's even gonna be bad as him. He might be fine as him. I don't think he's gonna be bad if he is Magneto. It's more so just worried about the typecasting. That's what it's called, typecasting. I'll say stereotype. But my thing is, it's more so, it's in that same box that we have him in. It's like, you know, fans always wanted Patrick Stewart to be Professor X. They never gave up on that, and it worked. They went for that, and it worked. And no one really had a dream Magneto ever. I mean, there are people probably that have good ideas, but when you saw Patrick Stewart, you knew Professor X. And the fact that they got him is great. But I just think, you know, I think he has what it takes to do everything to play Magneto. I really do. But that's not like my real problem. My real problem is, are we going for, you know, people that have already done these kind of roles before? And like I said, I know they're not the same. This is kind of what all casting is about, figuring out who could do this, who's got the drive, who's got the feel. And that's why I was saying in the last video, people were kind of commenting, I think on some video, that why are we even getting rumors on these actors playing them? It's because they're writing X-Men right now. They're writing X-Men as we speak. And a lot of times they like to cast actors so they have an idea of the mannerisms and the way they talk, and, you know, just things that they do that they can play off of, you know, to make them work. And, you know, they could watch him and be like, that's what I would do with him with Magneto or whatever. So they kind of get an idea while they're writing. It helps you because you know their range, you've seen their movies, and I'm sure they're going to study them. But at the same time, we need someone kind of like, he had the quiet vibe as Ren, but we need like an intimidation, noble factor, I feel. What's his name? Mickelson, who is the villain in Doctor Strange. He was a favorite for Doom forever, and I heard rumors a while ago like he was supposed to be him or something. I don't know how it worked with the MCU, but I didn't care. That dude's great. I probably best remember him in Casino Royale. That's the villain, but he's in a lot of things. He had that presence, that royal, noble, nose in the air, you know, quiet demeanor, but also very treacherous, you know. But, you know, it's like the first X-Men movie we're gonna get, and I'm afraid the first thing we're gonna think is Kylo Ren, and that's what I don't want to happen. And I don't want us to immediately go to that. I don't want to go through the X-Men movie, think, oh, he's playing like Kylo Ren, or he's not. And I think no matter what, it's gonna always have us look at him that way, and it sucks. These people that get typecasted and get stuck playing a role forever, especially in the early age, and they do other movies, they are like look at what's her name? Who plays Rey? Can't think of her name right now. I always watch a ton of movies. I always forget everybody's names on these videos. She can't get roles really, because it's people are so stuck on seeing her as Rey, and they don't want to take risks with her almost. And I think Adam Driver sometimes can fall in that boat, but Adam Driver does have a longer acting sheet, and he did a lot more acting afterwards. Some people just get stuck. They just get stuck in this whole thing. But it's just tough. I don't know. I wish I could have like a panel of a bunch of X-Men fans and movie fans, and we could all sit here and talk and think about these things. We've seen them be like, you know, people be good at doing like one thing, and I don't want that to be Adam Driver's thing, you know. And Adam Driver, like I said, he's a great actor. What's his name? Giancarlo Esposito. Great actor. I love him in everything. There's been rumors of him as Professor X a million times. But he's basically the same guy in every movie. Very calm. He's threatening to people. He did it in The Boys. He's done it in other things. Did Captain America: Brave New World. He brings the same thing. He's a great actor, but it's the same vibe, the same aura of every character he's played. You know, you get Ryan Reynolds. He gets in every movie he's the high-pitched, goofy, laughing guy. Not too many edgy performances from him. Again, not saying he's a bad actor, but this is what they get typecasted as, and they get stuck in these roles. So I don't want that to happen to something happens like that to Adam Driver, where you're like Jason Statham, and every movie you're in, you're punching and you're swearing and sweaty and fighting everybody. And if you look back, if you watch Snatch, Jason Tatum is a great actor. He's really good. That was the Guy Ritchie film, I believe. Go watch it. Snatch is great. Snatch is a great movie. Lock, Stock, and Barrel, the one before that, really good. But he got typecast now. After that, he got into he wasn't even a fighter or anything like that or whatever. But eventually, he became the action guy. We don't get to see him in any other roles than that. Maybe that's what he likes. I don't know. But all those actors are talented. They all have cred, but the audience wants to keep bringing the previous character that they've been in the last movie, and the audience demands that almost because they're so used to seeing that actor as this way. And now I think that could be an issue, and I kind of worry that it's going to fall in the idea of it. I'm worried it's going to fall with Adam Driver. He's going to get these roles of being a brooding, misunderstanding, misjudged type of character. Like, at what point are you casting the actor, and what point are you casting our memory of the actor? Like, are we casting him because of what he did? Are we casting him based off the idea, like, yes, he could do Magneto, not because we looked at other things he's done? Because a lot of times we do that. A lot of people do that when they try to think of a fan casting Wolverine. This guy could play Wolverine because he was like this in this movie, he was like this in this movie, and it's hard. It's hard to, I'm sure, cast people. Even us fans doing fan casting is a big issue on our own, and we're not even real casters. But if we take it serious and we sit down and we actually sit there and try to think who could play who, and you think of it logically, it's tough. It's really, really hard. It's hard to figure out who could play who and represent the character right. Adam Driver won't be the first person I think of Magneto. Again, is it going to deal with the Holocaust story at all? Is he going to be Jewish in it? Is that going to have any other problem? That was a very big, strong thing with the previous Magnetos. A big, big, strong thing. The original idea for Magneto Origins was going to be him hunting down other Nazis and killing them, and that turned into First Class instead. That we're going to get a Magneto movie, and it shifted to First Class. And then if we went through X-Men 1 through X3, all of them had shadows and undertones of his past in the Holocaust, and one of the best openings in the movie of him trying to yank back his parents in a way, or pull back, and yanking down the gates with his magnetic power. Very strong image. It showed a lot of that movie. Again, it's not probably one of my favorite movies anymore because I grew out of it a little bit, but that's such a strong presence in that movie, and explain and show what it meant during that history and what it meant for him to be going through in it, and the fact that Magneto is going to have this in his past. They did a lot with that. So, and then is he going to paint a new picture? Is he going to not have us think of Ian McKellen or Fassbender when we see him act? Are we going to sit there and still think, oh, he's not acting like Ian McKellen, or he's not acting like, Fassbender? It sucks because you have to make your own. And that's the problem now with all these recastings coming up. It's going to be rough. It's going to be super, super rough. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard for the studios. They're going to have a hard time with fans, the backlash. I already know it. I already can see it. People are too comfortable with it. And it's almost like opposite with Robert Downey Jr., or at least feels opposite, because that's my problem with Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom, is I'm worried I'll see Tony Stark as Dr. Doom. And of course he's going to push harder against that, I would hope. He's not going to be snarky, I hope. Not because, Doom and Tony are the same. It's just because Marvel spent over 10 years, showing me that RDJ is Tony Stark. And now we know nothing about that. And I've already talked in other videos about how it's going to be hard to replace him. Even talking about Secret Wars and how it's going to affect Spider-Man. If they cast a new Iron Man, how's it going to work? How's it going to play into it? Him losing his mentor and then getting someone from another variant or whatever they're going to do. I don't know. That's a whole different story and a whole other video that I did. But we were, fed this Tony Stark years and years and years. So that's all we know. And the fact that he's going to be Dr. Doom, it's like, why do we do this? And I hope to God they don't gloss over it. I hope they don't gloss over why he's Doom, because I get it. they said they want the greatest actor to play both roles, and it makes sense. I understand you want a good actor, but the problem is he already did a great job as someone else, and it's just, and he was too big of a character. He's not a small character to get recast as somebody else. Like, there was a girl that was in the Kree, and then she became the Eternals. Who was she in the Eternals? Forgot her name, but I keep on saying Jarvis. It's not Jarvis. It's an odd name, but she was in one of the Kree villains, and she had a name in it. She wasn't like a nobody Kree with Captain Marvel, and they moved her to play a different part in Eternals. They were just not noticeable of a change, and not big enough actress to notice it. So you can do these things, but how with the man that started the whole thing? It's just hard, and I don't know how we're gonna get through that. And going back to Adam Driver, I have, again, it's like the opposite problem. I'm not worried about Magneto looking like Kylo Ren. I'm not really worried about that. It's not gonna be that big of a deal to see him in a red suit instead with a red helmet. You know, it's more so Marvel wanted the same things from these performances, and the same performance that Star Wars wanted it, and they're all tucked together now. Disney, Marvel, you know, all that work together now. So I'm worried that they're gonna go for the same thing because it seems familiar and it seems like it'll work. Almost lazy casting, and it sucks because I don't want to hold that against Adam Driver. With Adam Driver, I do think he's again, a great actor, but at the same time, it's just, are we just winging it right now? I don't know. It got me worried, man. Got me worried. I don't know what to think. I'm really against the wall with this. It's been really tough. Like, Magneto needs something different than Kylo Ren didn't have. Magneto wasn't just angry, you know, like how Kylo was, of course, and he went through different stages to be Magneto as a character. Kylo did in a way, but it was in a smaller spread of time. So I think he just needs to bring something. If he does get casted, by the way, still rumors. You know, Ren was constantly fighting himself and going back and forth about, you know, his anger, and he still thought he was doing the right thing or whatever. Magneto has no doubts whatsoever. When he would show you something, and he made mutants understand him, that we're on that side of the fence, and he just ruled it that way. So Adam is gonna have to play a different character in all actuality, but I feel like up front, when we see this casting and we see it, if it does happen, go through, everybody's just gonna see Kylo Ren, and that's what I worry about. And it sucks because with Adam Driver being this role, I remember when they mentioned Doom, I thought the same thing, and then when they mentioned him as Reed, I didn't see it as much. But to be honest, I see Reed more of him than Pedro Pascal. I hate to say that because everyone's gonna hate me, because everyone loves Pedro. Pedro's a great guy, great actor. I just didn't like him as Mr. Fantastic. I feel that was more easier for me to accept, him coming from a big franchise to this franchise as Reed, because he's going to have to play a different role, jump into a whole different body and be totally different. And with this, it's going to be a way different performance. Even though it's like feels so similar, he's going to have to break that mold because we have so many actors before that set it up so well and did such a good job as it. You know, and it's setting up the MCU. It's a big deal. This is almost like DC setting up right now in 2025 Superman, and you know, they're doing Supergirl, it's not doing well, and they have their shows that are fine. They're back and forth with everybody, but as far as I feel, they're fine. But you know, it's almost like that. You're starting all over, and it's on their back right now. It's on X-Men's back to start this new chapter, a huge new chapter, not just a little saga or something. This is a huge chapter folding over. We're losing characters. We're getting new characters. It's a big thing. So Adam has just big shoes to fill. I think he could do it, but I think it's going to be hard with fans, and kind of the same things I thought. Are we going to put him in that corner and think he's playing another bad guy, basically, using the same voice? Again, not saying bad acting, but hopefully he gets this. Hopefully he understands that if he is casted, that there's a lot going to be going to him. And I'm being unfair to him, totally unfair to him. This is not what, if he's trying to get the role or anything, this is not what he asked for. We just don't want Magneto powers as Kylo Ren, you know. That's what you don't want to see. He's just done so much and done so well. You don't wish that upon a guy and wish him like, oh God, you're making me worried, guy. Worried, guy, you're making me worried. Don't know if you're gonna be able to do this. But it's not so much him being able to do it, is if we're gonna be able to accept it, and if we're gonna be able to run with it and not see Ian McKellen or Michael Freshman or not see these guys as Magneto, because when we think of Magneto, that's what we see. Same thing I was saying with Patrick Stewart. A lot of times people know him well beyond Star Trek, a lot. But I think even those people now, when they see him, the first thing they think of is not Picard, they're thinking of Professor X. And I totally get it. His voice, his demeanor, everything's Professor X, 100%. I don't want him to play safe. I want him to kind of do his own thing and not be afraid to go outside the box a little bit if he gets the role. And hopefully they allow him to stretch out a little bit, because it's going to have to be different. Where the new wave of fans are coming in now. Fans nowadays, you know, past 20 years or so, are rough. It's kind of harder to explain when you've been around forever, you feel like, and gone through all the movies and seen how the fans are then and the fans are now. It's rough. It's a rough place out there. And I just hope that Adam Driver, if casted, this will be a performance that will be like, damn, like, he was made to be Magneto. I'm lost in watching Magneto. Just like Robert Downey Jr. did for Tony Stark. I never saw Robert Downey Jr. Even when I see him now, I think of Tony Stark. And so it's just a lot of big shoes to fill. And it almost seems like typecasting as well. And like I said, it's nothing against Adam Driver. I want to say Andrew Driver. Adam Driver. Nothing against him. It's just something that's a little worrisome. And like I said, I'm worried before X-Men. I'm worried a lot before, we even get there. I'm worried about what's going to set up with Doomsday and Secret Wars. Magneto, I don't think, will play a part in Secret Wars. Who knows? Something may happen with him, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be way too many people if they did. But, I mean, for the most part, if it's true, I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm just worried a little. That's all. I don't see Magneto vibe with him, but I can see people going like, well, he did Kylo Ren, and that's going to be the whole argument. But just because I don't see the vibe doesn't mean the actor can't change that vibe, you know? And I also want to know what's it going to do with Magneto's history, how's it going to change, and being so young, which is good because you can age with the character and keep him up for a while until we recast him again. But who knows? Like I said, these are just rumors that are flying around, but it was crazy this morning. This morning, it was everywhere. No one could stop saying that, confirmed, Magneto for blah, 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 confirmed, Magneto is this, Magneto is that. And God, why are these things popping up? And it was just nuts. Everyone everywhere was almost confirming it. So I was like, oh my God, like, did Marvel put out a release that we finally got casted Magneto? Because there is rumors that we're supposed to start getting hits with casting news. I think it'll follow if Sadie Sink is Jean Grey and Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think a lot will follow after that. They'll carry on that. But the thing is, Comic-Con's coming up. So there's already been leaks of the Comic-Con trailer for Doomsday. So they clearly have things planned. Are they going to announce some of the X-Men stuff? Because again, I know Secret Wars and Doomsday haven't even hit, but it's such a big momentum change, a sway away from everything we've been doing. We're going to do a huge move from what we've been doing this whole time. It's almost going to feel brand new. And again, I don't know how fans are going to feel about it, but people need to be prepared. This is going to be a big move. It's going to be a huge move, and I don't know if people are going to accept it, but for most of us, we're going to buckle in and go for the ride because we love our superheroes and we love our movies. And Marvel hasn't had to do this in, almost 20 years. They haven't had to redo everything almost and restart over because, we got all the stories told out of these characters and they're getting too old now And it's at the point where a lot of people are dead, a lot of people are going away. And, before Doomsday, Cap found his life again, and Iron Man was dead and gone. Other people kind of continued their stories. But yeah, it just got to a point where we didn't have anything no more. We're never going to see the Avengers together again, basically. And now we're going to a whole different move now. It's like, are we going to focus on the X-Men? We may. That might be the whole thing. And I would be upset us just focusing on X-Men. I'd want us to do a little bit of both, but the X-Men is huge property. And just like the Avengers, we focus just on the Avengers in Marvel. There's a lot of Marvel characters, but honestly, everyone's been an Avenger, basically. No one's all been an X-Men. So it's a little different of a story. But X-Men does have a lot of, I would think, more important comic arcs than Avengers. They're all involved in the big crossovers and stuff like that. But as far as like a run in the X-Men storylines, I think they have a better track record than the Avengers storylines that have happened in the comics. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm a little worried about getting a little too familiar of a performance, but either way, I'm happy we're getting Magneto back. I'm glad this is all going to get fixed, hopefully, and we're going to get to have a world where Spider-Man and Wolverine could coexist. That's awesome. Like, that's great. How they're going to do it, I have no idea, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Adam Driver being Magneto, and we will see. Love the guy. Think he's great at what he does. I just think a lot of pressure is going to be on him, and I think people are already debating if it's him, if it can't be him, or is it right? It's all up there right now. So the question to you guys is, do you think he's a good choice for Magneto? And also, who do you think would work? Because if you're trying to get this age range, totally when they hired Ian McKellen, who's a lot older gentleman, then they thought it would be a problem or not, because I don't think they figured X-Men would be as big as it was. It was going to be big, but not like how it was. But so it's hard, Ian McKellen being in this one, he's an older gentleman. Patrick Stewart for Doomsday, this is gonna be his last movie, he said, ever. I think he's in his 80s. He's done. He's not gonna make any other movies after this. So it sucks. It's a passing of the torch is going on right now. It's really big. So what do you guys think should happen? Is Adam Driver good? Could there be someone better? Is this reboot getting you guys a little worried like I am? Freaking out because we had such a good plan all the way up to this point, and now it's like we're restarting. It's all scary. It's all scary and worrisome. Hopefully someone gets back to me and talks to me, because this is getting rough out here, getting me worried. But I have faith. If Driver gets it, he can do it. He can do it.